Welcome to Double Overtime, everybody. We are so excited to talk to you about everything happening in this crazy world of sports, really. My name is Monse. This is my good friend, Jon, ready to party with you.
All right.
It's early, but we're going to party.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to party.
You know who's not partying?
Who?
The St. Louis Blues.
Well, it's still early. Goodness. I mean, yes, they shouldn't be partying yet anyway. No. It's only been one game. Yeah.
Jon, can you tell St. Louis to play 3 periods, not 2, please?
Yeah, I think they should be informed that a game is 3 solid periods of play.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's not 2 halves.
It's not 2 halves.
Like you would get in a college basketball game.
It's not 4 quarters.
No, it's not 4 quarters.
No.
You got to play the full game, and that's 3 periods. Now, I do have this lovely cup of the St. Louis Blues here, this nice $3 plastic cup that I received from a family reunion. I want to show this off. Hopefully this won't be the only cup they receive this year. I hope they get to hoist the big Stanley Cup, but I'm hoping. Goodness, Monse, they haven't won a finals game ever.
Yes.
I mean, in the years they've been around, they have lost every time.
Okay. Question then. If you were part of a team, would you rather make it to the final, to the absolute end, to the championship, and never win? Or would you rather have never made it in your career as a player to the finals?
Wow, that is a tough question.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
So would I rather have been the Supersonics during the Jordan era or just been like, some other team that never made it?
What would you prefer?
Gosh, I'd rather be there.
Right. I
mean, I'd rather, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It would really hurt, but I want to at least know that I had a chance.
For sure.
I guess at it,
I totally agree with you. That's what I would think. And I know it sucks because the narrative is going to suck as you hear you've never won. But I think at least it's better to get there and say you've never won than to never have gotten there.
Yeah, I guess that's true because, you can always say, there was this, that, or the other that was the reason you didn't win it. Right. But if you weren't even close, you got to look at your grandbabies in the face and be like, I was never any good. So at least
is that what you're going to tell your grandbabies?
Yeah, probably.
So the St. Louis Blues, the last time they made it to the Stanley Cup was in 1970, coincidentally against the Boston Bruins, and they were swept. How much does history have an effect on you as a player?
You know what? I mean, hopefully these guys aren't affected by it because they weren't around for it, but you still hear it. The history is still going to be brought up throughout, the organization,
forever.
Yeah. Anytime you watch ESPN, they're going to be like, hey, St. Louis, 0-12 every time they've been in the finals. Now 0-13, unfortunately, which is not a good number. So they might want to see if they can change that. Not to say they need to lose again, but just win. So it's 1-13. And then it's a little different. But yeah, the Blues, I really hope they can at least pull off one because it'd be sad if they got swept again, but it's not looking good for them because they just kind of stopped playing. They were very disorganized, it looked like.
It did. And it's interesting because the Boston Bruins had 11 days off before their next game, which a lot of people are going to be like, oh, they're going to be so rusty. They're going to be, which I don't agree. That I do not agree. I don't think you taking so much time off is really a negative thing.
No, and I mean, that would say the same for the Warriors. People would say that they're not going to be able to do well because they took time off, but they're kind of elderly. They need some time off.
Right.
Their bodies need to heal. And probably the same in hockey. I mean, that is a very taxing sport.
Right. So, super demanding of your body. Of course, you're going to need the rest. And it's not like they're just out partying, they're at home watching, practicing. It's I didn't think that they were going to be rusty. The first period, a little rusty.
Well, right.
Just a little, kind of getting me in the groove of it.
But you could see and tell that they never felt like they were out of that game.
No, not at all.
Especially because they're going against a rookie goalie. Now, I'm not saying that he's not good. He's gotten them that far. But, a rookie, this is a huge spotlight on him now. And now he's really got to play.
Yeah. I mean, the score was 0-2 going into the second period. But then in that second period, the Blues were outshot 18-3.
Yeah. It felt like they didn't have any consistent offense.
No, they ran out of energy almost.
Yeah, they just couldn't keep the puck on the other side.
They could not.
Yeah, and I mean, what's your goalie going to do if he's constantly getting an onslaught of pucks coming at him? They're going to get in.
I know, and I mean, this rookie goalie we're talking about, Jordan Binnington, he had 37 saves. How can you ask more of a rookie goalie?
I mean, you really shouldn't.
You really shouldn't.
But I mean, I guess if you've gotten this far, you're like, look, but you need to stop everything.
You need to stop everything.
Just stop them all.
Yeah, even though I do think that the Bruins goalie, though, Taurasi, that dude is a beast.
Yeah, no, he is.
He is a beast. I'm impressed with anybody who can score a goal in NHL because those goalies are the size of the goal.
Right.
It's like there's no space around.
No.
How can you get that in? It's amazing.
It's almost like you have to wait for them to be off balance and out of position or something, because they're going to position themselves to make the biggest wall they possibly can.
Literally.
You know, so like
They literally are. If they stand right in front of their goal, it's literally like inches around them that's available. Granted, a puck is a lot smaller than other things we play with in sports, but still, it's so impressive when you finally get that in. And, you know, both goalies are doing really well, but it does seem as though Boston has the edge.
Yeah, I mean, they're favored to win already, and it's not looking any better right now. Like, if you are a betting man or woman and you want to really win some money, you better put it all on the Blues and hope for the best. Because I'm sure the odds are definitely not in their favor. So if they can pull it out, that would be amazing. And I would just be happy for them to win one.
You would just be happy for them to win one. Yeah, I don't mind if they win. You know, I have nothing invested in either team. It's not going to bother me who wins. I do think Boston will win. That's what I think. But I hope they don't sweep.
According to your shirt, you shouldn't love anything Boston. Yeah.
I shouldn't. I shouldn't. Why are you hating on the shirt, though?
I'm not hating on the shirt. I'm just saying according to the shirt.
Let's talk about your shirt. I mean, obviously, I'm wearing this because the Yankees are doing so well. We're going to talk about baseball. We'll talk about it.
Right.
But why don't you talk about what you're wearing?
Well, I'm wearing this Toon Squad shirt here because I'm supporting LeBron James's offseason.
Shade. Slight.
What else is he doing? Playing basketball during a conference about Frank coming in? I mean, that was ridiculous. Like, they're like, LeBron James is here. Homie is taking shots. He ain't paying attention to your press conference.
He had to be there, though. He had to be there. It would have been really bad if he wasn't there.
But he might as well not be there. He's up there doing
His
layups.
presence is enough. Let's be real.
I mean, yes, because everybody's like, LeBron James is here. LeBron James is here. I was like, well, I mean, he could have been in the bathroom taking a dump.
It's
like,
so
he's
funny
present.
Because Frank Vogel was like, yeah, LeBron James walks in, then nobody looks at me. Like, all the cameras went away from me as soon as LeBron James walks in.
That's going to be his life now.
That is going to be his life. Welcome to the Lakers, Frank. Anyway, back to the cup. You know, we are going to get a new Stanley Cup champion. But before that, the current champions have something of a problem amongst their hands.
Well, hold up. Not all of them.
Not all of them, but the reigning champs have something to think about right now. Because their player, no, guys, these are tough names. We're gonna say his last name, Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, because his first name is even more complicated. But he is the center for the Washington Capitals. Yeah. And a video has emerged on social media of him in a room. It's just about 25 seconds long, and it seems like he's FaceTiming. But right in front of him is a table with 2 lines of white powder. Could have been BC powder. It could have been baby powder.
Could have been baby powder. Sometimes I like line up my baby powder before I put it on.
That sounds terrible. Stop talking. Stop talking. So
I'm trying to defend the man.
You are trying to defend the man, but it's not helping.
I probably should.
And he doesn't do anything, but he's sitting right in front of it. Is FaceTiming. We can't understand him. It's Russian that they're speaking. I don't even know.
Right.
But he says, I have nothing to hide. I left immediately after I noticed that, plus random women. Okay. And he says, you can give me a test. I'm clean. I don't do that.
That's because it gets out of your system in 2 days.
Oh, tell us more about cocaine, John. What else?
It's an upper.
So it's for parties, apparently.
Right. Or to stay awake, or to be able to continue a taxing professional career. He's not the only professional athlete that's had these issues.
Enlighten us, John.
Well, I believe OBJ was in a video or something where he was caught with a couple of lines of powder. Nick Young, basketball player, has said that cocaine should be legal, and then retracted on that. But we all know how you really feel, Nick.
Nick Young, just sit down.
Yeah, and I mean, even as far back as the 80s, I mean, Tim Raines, a Hall of Fame baseball player, was in a courtroom on record talking about how he used to slide in head first all the time when he was stealing bases or even just running around the bases so he wouldn't break his cocaine vial that was in his back pocket in case he needed to get a little toot while he was out there on the field.
Dedication.
That is, you know.
Head first. I mean, that's impressive.
Well, hey, look, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
You ain't going to try to break that. You know how expensive cocaine is?
No, I actually don't. I really have...
Look it up online.
Look it up. I don't know. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I'll take a shot
For
of
the people
tequila.
at home. I want the people at home to look up the value of cocaine.
Yeah, you do that. I'll just take a shot of tequila, which is normally about $10.50 because I like my Don Julio. Anyway, we move on to more drug conversations.
Right.
Chris Long had an interview.
What he does could be considered medicine, too.
It could be. It could be. He
Right.
had an interview. He is now a retired former defensive end. He retired with the Eagles, but he played for the Patriots. He also played...
We played for the Eagles.
He retired with the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles, Patriots are mainly, I mean, that's where he got his ring.
That's
so
where
that's where we're going to like.
He retired and he had an interview and he talked about marijuana use. And he straight up said, he was like, you know, I used marijuana while I was a player instead of taking painkillers. And he kind of was like, I think the NFL should ease up on how strict they are, quote unquote strict, because he also kind of implied that they're not strict. But
Well, no, they give you a lot of heads up on that.
Exactly.
They give
So
you a lot of heads up.
he implied a little bit of that, but you know, I agree with him, and he made a very good point. He's like, you know, I think this is better than drinking like a fifth of vodka or a fifth of whatever and then running off to the club.
Or even just chowing down on painkillers. Like,
Right.
that's even more detrimental for
So
you.
terrible, you know, and it's like these guys get hit so hard. It's such a toll on the body. I totally agree with him.
Well, even if they say you can't get high, they shouldn't get rid of at least the CBD, like that, because that can be used for the pain, and they
Right.
really should at least allow that. Now, it might be hard for them to figure out if you are using CBD or if you're puffing on a J, but either way, like, something should be done to kind of help them not have these addictions that some of them are getting because they're having to do something to counteract that pain.
Right. And it's terrible stuff that people are choosing to do to alleviate the pain or forget about what was going on. You know, he made a really good point. It's like, you know, you're probably going to smoke and fall asleep watching Game of Thrones. I won't be at the club getting a DUI because I'm so drunk.
Right.
Like, it's such a different, it's true though. It's so true. I'm not saying, for the record, I'm not saying that they should be able to smoke a J and go play. I'm not saying that.
I am saying they should be able to smoke a J and go
if
play.
you
Because you
want-
know some of them are. You know some of them are. You know some of them getting just high and coming out there just blasting on them.
Okay, so yes, I honestly don't care if they do that, but I don't think it should be something that we verbally say is legal because this is also their work. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting paid to
Right.
do this, so I have to look at it as this is your job. And none of us at our work, we want to do that. You know, it shouldn't be allowed. You might want to do it and whatever, but we shouldn't verbally say, yes, you can do that. Because you're right, they're probably still doing it, but we
Right.
can't verbally say that that's okay. It's your job.
I mean, it's kind of okay in hockey. I mean, like, they haven't verbally said, go puff.
But that's what I'm
like,
saying. That you can't verbally say, do this.
Okay.
If it's done, it's done. But we can't say that because this is a job. It's their job. We got to see it as a job. They're getting paid for it. So there just has to have, I agree that there has to be some sort of structure when you are in a uniform ready to represent your team as you play on your job.
Right. And I feel like a lot of it, though, for Chris Long, I think his color of skin might have helped him get by with a lot of it because, like,
100%.
no one's going to be like, this white guy over here is smoking too much marijuana. Like,
No.
that's never a problem.
Of course not. No,
So-
I agree. If this would have been a different player saying this, if this would have been like Chad Ochocinco or something like that, you know, it would have been taken completely different.
Oh yeah, Roger Goodell would have been coming down with like hell and brimstone because like somebody brown is getting high all the time under his watch, you know? So-
Exactly. So many other things beyond just
But he is a good person though. I mean, Long has done a lot of stuff in Africa,
Right.
you know, helping them get clean water and things of that nature. And I mean, he gave up his whole salary for a whole season, you know, just to aid other people. So like, he's a good person.
right.
Granted, he might want to get a little high because of the
there's
pain,
nothing wrong
but
with
he's
that.
still a good person. you
Yeah,
know, so
totally. I'm with that. Now let's move on to the NBA
okay.
Finals.
All right, let's do it.
Oh man.
Not a lot of good people involved. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. That's not true at all.
Listen, the NBA Finals are upon us, and
Who you got?
I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Obviously, the Warriors, I think the Warriors are going to win. I'm not stupid. Just because I hate them doesn't mean I'm stupid.
I got
and
you.
I actually hate them less when Durant is not playing. He's the reason I dislike them so much. If y'all wonder, why do I dislike Durant so much? I don't know if I've ever actually said it. I don't like that he left his team to join the team that beat him when they were up 3-1. Like, what? So you can't beat him, so you join him? That's why. So, since he's not there.
I mean, they called him. It's not like
I
he
know
just...
the Hampton Five, blah, blah, blah.
But he went to them. Now, let's also be honest, though. Are we sure the Warriors would have won if they didn't have KD? Because the last time they won, the Cavs were all injured.
They were all, I know. You know, it's funny that you say that because I hate when people are like, the Warriors have faced such adversity. I'm going to need you to sit down. What adversity are you talking about? What adversity? You mean because their one all-star is sitting down while they have two other all-stars, the best defensive player of the year, an MVP finals? Like, come on. What adversity are you talking about? I need y'all to stop drinking the Warriors juice because they don't have adversity. They still have the best team, and they're probably going to win. But I don't think we should dismiss the Raptors the way everybody else is.
I mean, I'm not going to dismiss them because of the way they turned it around against the Bucks. I mean, they went down 2-0 and then swept them the rest of the way.
I know, and they were dismissed after being down 2-0.
It's true, they were. And I mean, I was kind of on that same boat of dismissing them because I was like, what are you guys going to do against the Greek Freak? What they did is they put their best defensive person on them finally. Yeah, it's like, what is Marc Gasol going to be doing against this man? You've lost your mind if you think he's going to defend this boy. So they finally put Kawhi on him. And then it became a little harder for him. You know, he also had the same spin move. And they're like, buddy, you can't do the same spin move on us every day. We see you each and every day.
We've seen tape of you.
Right. But not even just the tape.
In
you
person,
are physically out there with him each and every time. So he was like, okay, spin right into this.
Yeah.
You know? So
they kind of put up a wall. I mean, obviously putting Kawhi was a big deal, but they kind of just put a wall. And he had a really hard time dishing out the ball. I saw a lot of early Blake Griffin in these last 4 games in the sense of Giannis went for athleticism and not technique or footwork. He thought, I'm big and fast and I'm going to get through this. And it was like, bro, they figured it out.
That would work if he was playing with Wilt Chamberlain in the crew.
And it worked the whole NBA season. Sure, playoffs is a different thing. And so many times plays where he would drive in, do a spin move, lose the ball, and I was like, oh, that's so Blake Griffin. And I like Blake, you know, I'm a Clippers fan. I was really sad to see him go, but I wish Blake would have worked more on his footwork and technique early on in his career versus relying on his athleticism.
But I mean, at the same time, though, that's what they wanted from him. You know, they wanted Lob City. They wanted him to hit his head on the backboard and get concussions. That's what they wanted from him.
They did. But also, once they figure out how to stop you, you got to rely on something else.
Right. And I think he's trying to do that in Detroit.
That's why I said, you know, this was like, and you're right. It was maybe the whole Lob City mentality type of thing. Because I do see him play a little differently now that he's in Detroit. Yeah. He's tried just to be a little bit smarter, not necessarily just be strong and fast. Yeah. And that's what Giannis was trying to do. And it didn't work out.
I think it was a little too late for Giannis. And also, not too late. It's just he's too young and he wasn't going to be able to make that transition in time.
100%.
Next year, who knows? Like, maybe he'll be able to figure something out. I mean, he had been trying to shoot a little more from the perimeter. I mean, he hit a few threes.
He did hit a few.
So, I mean, he's trying to change his game a little bit, but I feel like that was too little too late because at that point in time, you know, we are deep in the playoffs. You know, like you ain't got to just, you know, become a new person in 2 weeks' time.
It's not. And he's super good. A conversation that I heard on the radio earlier this week, so we'll make this real quick. Is Giannis a superstar? Yeah, right?
I mean, he's about to win the MVP, but they kind of passed that around like a wash rag, though.
They did, but they talked about this, and it was Ryan Hollins who was like, oh, he's not a superstar. Because in his eyes, a superstar means you have a ring. What is your criteria for a superstar?
I guess just downright dominance on the court. Like, you don't always get a ring for being a superstar. I mean, Charles Barkley.
Poor guy. He gets brought up in every conversation about somebody.
I love you, Charles.
I know. We do.
I love all your antics.
Love them all.
I love your character. I even love the fact that occasionally you get with prostitutes.
Shade?
No, that's not shade.
Shade?
Man's got to do what he's got to do.
Got some people smiling here. All right.
Man's got to do what he's got to do. You know, but either way,
great.
Charles Barkley never got the ring, you know, but I mean, the man was an all-star. I mean, he got at least an Olympic gold medal, you know.
A superstar, right?
So,
You would say Charles
Yeah.
was a superstar in his time.
Right.
And I agree. I think superstar does not equal ring. What do you guys think? Do you think superstar, and you can look at this in any sport, do you think a ring equals superstar name, superstar power, or is it beyond just getting the ring?
It has to be beyond the ring because
agree.
there are people who have rings
And don't deserve.
that aren't a
Robert
superstar.
Horry has how many?
Wait a second.
5?
No,
6?
He's got like 8. But
8? Robert Horry?
he's got a lot.
All I can think about is when he made that shot.
Because he's got Lakers, Spurs, and Rockets.
Correct.
So he's got like 7 or 8. He's got a lot of
No,
rings.
he has way too many.
No, but he hit some shots though.
He did hit some shots,
He hit
but
some
are you
shots.
going to say Robert Horry is a superstar?
No.
Of course not. And here we are. Shade.
I was just saying though, but like, yeah, I mean, rings don't mean that you're a champion.
Yeah.
I mean, or a superstar. It means you're a champion. You were on a championship team, but you're not a superstar.
You're not a superstar. Now, how do you feel about quote unquote superstars outside of sports being involved at the games and giving back massages to coaches?
Whatever. I mean, Drake is gonna ruin this team anyway. The Drake curse.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It is. Oh God, I feel bad for Kawhi. Not really though, because
Kawhi doesn't even care.
No, Kawhi doesn't care.
No.
It's the rest of the team is somehow going to be affected by this. Like,
Right.
you know, Van Fleet he's not going to continue this. He ain't going to have a baby every week, you know? So he's not going to have that, like, I'm a new father inspiration all the time.
Well,
you
it
know?
was a second kid, actually, but it was a boy.
but I know
so
what I'm
maybe that
saying.
gave him a little.
But I'm just saying, like, you're not going to keep having a child to
Right.
be like, I have
The
this new
inspiration.
daddy strength. Like, it's not going to happen every week. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to take 9 months.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
Yes,
Right, somewhere around there.
Give or take.
Give or take, you know, things happen. Some babies like to stay in. They do the 10-month thing. But
What show are we on? What are we talking about?
I don't know. But either way, like, you're not going to always get that same production. Like,
Right.
we know Kawhi is going to always be there for the team. Is Siakam?
Yeah.
Maybe. You know, is Lowry? Probably not. But like, we hope he can give you at least one good game. you
Right,
know?
right.
So,
Kawhi, though, big talk. Is he going to stay a Raptor?
if they win, yes.
You think he'll stay if they win?
No superstar wins a championship and dips. Like, that don't happen.
But Kawhi clearly is not like other players.
He's not.
He's
He really
not.
isn't. But like, that's a weird thing to have on your record. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're not a Raptors fan, I think other people would still be like, how you gonna do that? You know,
Right.
like, he's gonna be judged. Drake's gonna make a song about it. There's gonna be all kinds of things. He's gonna have a lot of people against him if he wins a championship in dips. You know, that's just not gonna
true.
work.
That's true. But Kawhi, everyone is trying to convince him to stay. There are restaurants that are like, you never have to pay for food. You could just eat for free here. There's a guy who's willing to give him a like condo to live in. Not that he needs the money, but literally everyone is trying so hard to convince Kawhi to stay. Everybody and their mom.
Okay, I hope the place that's offering food has good hot wings, because again, that's all that man
He
cares
loves
about.
Wingstop.
He loves hot wings. I hope the dude that's doing this is a wings guy, because like, if you're serving, you know,
tell you.
shrimp and pate, he ain't showing up for that. You know,
Yeah.
he wants them wings.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't blame the guy.
no, I love
I
wings.
don't. I do too, but I don't eat things with the face anymore. But
She
if I
doesn't.
did, I would be at Wingstop.
She eats faux wings though all the time.
all the time. All the time. All the time. And sometimes if I'm having a bad day, you never know. You might see me at Wingstop. Let's be real.
Oh.
Let's be real.
Oh my.
Doesn't happen very often.
If I
though.
ever see her at a Wingstop, I'll be like, oh baby, what happened?
It was yeah. It doesn't happen very often. But if you see me at a Wingstop, something terrible has happened to me.
Crying over some wings. It's like, who cries over
So
wings?
happy, but yet so sad. All these crazy things. Anyway, yes, you're right. I hear the food in Toronto is great though. Like everywhere you go. So
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that that's like the New York City of Canada. So they're going to have probably the best food there.
Right.
But, you know, he doesn't like the cold.
He does
wants to
not.
be someplace warm. You know, I mean, heck,
Yeah.
the man's named after a city in Hawaii, isn't he? So, like, I mean, the boy likes warm weather.
he does.
So,
You can't blame him.
Right. So I'm thinking that if they win, he's going to stay just because it just makes better sense to, because if you leave after that, you are an extreme villain. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron didn't even do that. He didn't win a championship and dip, you know,
Yeah.
like he didn't pull that one off. Even still, if he pulled that one off, he could probably get away with it, but I think he's the only player who could.
So let us know what you think. I think Kawhi's out, whether he wins or not. And I actually don't think people will hate him. I think that the Raptors fans are going to be really happy and they're going to be thankful because they've reached a point that they've never reached before. But I do think Kawhi is out. I don't think Kawhi is going to get like a tattoo of the Raptors or anything like that.
I would if you had a championship with them, you might as well get a little get a little Spurs one with the trophy. And
there's some players who do that. We just had the Mexican Soccer League Championship in Liga MX, the Tigres versus León, and
pretty boring.
You could argue that it was boring.
There was no scoring.
I understand, but sometimes you could just be happy about the defense. No? That's kind of like the Super Bowl. Everybody was so sad.
That was the worst Super Bowl.
It depends who you ask. It depends
Patriots
who you
fans
ask.
will still say that's the worst Super Bowl.
But okay, whatever. The Tigres, they won because on the first game, an away game, they scored 1-0. The final game at home, it was 0-0. So they won. Everyone did say it was a little boring. But, they have a French player who's like a diehard for his team, and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, he says...
Talking about André-Pierre Gignac. Gignac. I think I did that pretty well.
I think that's right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If it's not, please tell us.
Yeah, holler, or just come on the show.
Come on the show. If you are French, just say the name for us, and then we'll ask you to leave.
Yeah.
But no, the man... He says that, he's Mexican through and through. He ain't leaving.
He's not going anywhere.
So, hey, why leave?
Why leave? But, Kawhi's leaving.
I don't know if he will.
Kawhi is leaving.
Kevin's going to leave to the Clippers, and you're not happy about that. Here's the thing. He's going to either Clippers or Nets because they have, A, they're in a big market. B, they're not the biggest market. And C, they have owners with more money that can distribute out more to them.
I don't like any of what you just said, which is why I'm going to change the subject. But before we move on to baseball, I actually wanted to talk about Aaron Rodgers trying to chug a beer. He couldn't. His teammate did it. He chugged 3.
That's because he's a wine guy, probably, or wine coolers, to be honest.
But why even try, Aaron?
Because he has to show he's a man now.
His teammate did 3. David Bakhtiari.
I think that's right. Yeah,
I think I said that right. He was an offensive lineman for the Packers. He chugged 3 in seconds, though. I was like, yo, that dude is opening up his throat.
Right. He's really letting it just go right down.
I don't even think he was even worse. It was literally just going down his pipes.
Right, like that old guy from the Man Show. You remember that show? There was an old guy. He would just chug beers.
Vaguely.
Yeah. So.
This one was just it was so funny to watch because he did it in 5 seconds, and then they turned to Aaron Rodgers and literally cannot struggle. You can be on Game of Thrones, but you can't chug a beer.
They probably should have put a little baby nipple on it for him because he was struggling so much with it.
It's what are you going with this? Shade. More shade.
More shade.
The point of today's episode,
does
shade.
Aaron Rodgers look like a guy that drinks beer to you? When you look at this man, he doesn't feel like a beer drinker. He feels like, maybe a mixed drink or some wine. But
cocktail?
He doesn't feel like cocktail. He doesn't feel like a beer man.
All right, so you say try to chug the beer even though you can't. You think that's the right choice? He made the right move. Instead of just choosing the camera and being like,
he's trying to prove his worth, I guess. He there's a new Packers now,
there is,
and he has to be all on board. He has to show that he's
down to party.
Right, he's down to party. He loves his teammates.
Yeah.
He loves, Milwaukee or whatever else is happening in Wisconsin. He has to show that he is there for this future of the team, which won't be very long for him. He's close to the end of his ropes. He may have 8 years at best.
Yeah, he is close to the end, but we'll see. Maybe he'll learn to chug a beer. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if they win the Super Bowl.
Maybe he should just start sipping wine.
Maybe he'll have a wine and then he can chug. And then we move on to the new season of the WNBA, which has officially started.
It has, yeah.
Its 23rd season.
Right. And Vegas has a team right now.
Exciting. There are now, there's currently 12 teams and the season is 34 games long. My question to you, John, why are women paid so much less?
I feel this is a very loaded question, Monse.
In life. But we could specifically talk about the WNBA. Do you have an answer for me? For any of the women?
I do. You don't want to hear it,
Tell me, and then I can punch you after.
All right. Well, here's what it is. It's unfortunately the revenue being brought in. There's just not enough. It's not. No, don't give me that. It's just the money is not coming in at the same rate as it is for the NBA. Like, let's say Candace Parker. That's the biggest name in the WNBA, but there's so many other players. You know, she can't play every game. She's not on every team. You know, so like you can't just rely on one name to carry the whole.
Why is that the only name you can think of? I can think of a couple WNBA stars.
I'm just saying a household name. There's
Taurasi, who is the leading scorer in the WNBA.
That's my boo-boo right there.
Is she? Because you just did not mention her. You mentioned Candace Parker. So
but I'm just saying
clearly
that's the biggest
not your
name.
boo-boo.
I do like her, though. But that's the biggest name in the league. You know, there's other ladies that are still out there that are balling. I'm not saying these women ain't got game. They just have to go overseas and go make that money. Like they go overseas and they start making millions. Like China, they're paying these women out like $3-4 million.
Yeah.
I mean, my baby T got paid just to not even play in the WNBA for a whole year to stay over in China. They gave her an extra mil because she wasn't going to get anywhere close to that. So she was like, fine.
Yeah, if you're curious to know, in 2018, the highest pay for a WNBA veteran.
It ain't good.
$113,000. $113,000 was what the highest WNBA veteran was making.
Right.
Now, I'm not disagreeing with you that the money coming in is the same. You're right. It's very different from the NBA, but the NBA is also marketed differently. You don't market the WNBA the same way. So obviously it's not going to bring in the same revenue. So you got to start with the basics if you want this to bring in more money. But to say that, you know, these rookie WNBA players are making around $50,000 to play professional basketball is ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that.
It sounds like you are.
No, I'm just saying that's just what it is. It's unfortunate that the revenue like the sponsorship coming in isn't going to be enough for them to be able to pay these players the amount that they are probably owed. That's why like it's more, I guess, accepted, more loved overseas, and that's why they're able to get more money overseas, and that's why they go overseas so often. That's why the WNBA season is where it is. It fits in this weird spot where everyone's like, why are they playing basketball right now? Because the rest of the time they're overseas making real money. So that's the whole reason behind all of this. So I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that until they can find a way to make it more exciting for, I guess, America, I don't know what they need to do. They tried to be like, look, women can dunk. That wasn't enough for everybody. I mean, I'm not saying they need to change the uniforms. And I just don't know what they're going to do to make things more acceptable for them to make more money.
Right.
I just don't know what to do. People at home, what do you think they need to do for the WNBA? How are they going to get these ladies more paper? That's what I want to know. I do like Candace Parker's Captain Marvel shoes, though. I want those. Those are fire. I like those shoes.
Since we are starting the WNBA, and John made the perfect point that a lot of people don't really know any names in the WNBA. So I figured I would give you some of the record holders in the WNBA. Diana Taurasi
Cheryl Swoop
has the most points. What does Cheryl Swoop have? Not anymore. She was the one that had the most points.
I know.
So actually she has no record.
She has no records
Sit
anymore.
down. But let me tell you who has the most assists in the WNBA. Do you know who that is? Ooh. And you probably do, and it's just like names, you know, that
Did she play for the Storm? Is that right? Or did she play for the Storm?
I think she did. Sue Bird.
Yeah.
Sue Bird. That's what I was like, you probably know this one. You probably know this one. The rebounds leader is Rebecca Brunson.
I was not going to get that one.
Yeah, I was not going to get that one either. But this one, I'm going to give you one more. And you actually do know this player, but she's not playing anymore because she's an assistant coach. And it's the highest free throw percentage in the WNBA at 89.7. Becky Hammon.
I feel ashamed.
Yeah, you should. I couldn't give you a better clue. Female assistant coach.
I apologize.
You're fired.
I am.
Sub. Cosmic, come on in. Sub.
They're not here today.
They're not here today. Do we have time to talk about baseball? Or let's talk a little bit about baseball. I mean, my shirt wants to talk about it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
About Bryce Harper.
Let's not talk about Bryce Harper. He's just getting worse. How is he getting worse? His batting average is like 220 now. His WAR is like 0.5. You're telling me his replacement is just as good as him? Then why did you even sign this man? It's disgusting. It's really disgusting.
Tell us how you really feel, John.
That was how I really feel.
Yeah. All right. So he's not doing very well.
When was the last time he hit a home run? Like last time we did a show?
I think so. He's not, you're right. He's not hitting. He is not proving up to his 13-year, $330 million contract.
Why didn't Philly put in some sort of clause? Why didn't they say, if you suck, I'm going to get rid of you?
That's a really, really good clause. And it should be written just like that.
Yeah.
If you suck, we can get rid of you.
Because they did that for the guy you hate here. At least they put in his that after 5 years, if he ain't doing anything, they can get rid of him. At least San Diego was smart like that.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. But baseball, we're kind of like officially a third into the season, about a little over third, because it's such a long season. Obviously, the biggest surprise, I think, is still the Minnesota Twins,
right?
Who are rocking it.
They are doing very well. Well, they proved that if you get rid of somebody that is costing you a lot of money, you can then distribute the money around and have good talent on the team.
Yeah. And it takes baseball is like it's a team effort. You know, like in football, you need a really good quarterback.
Right.
Like you're not going to make it.
You can't win the Super Bowl without
a good quarterback. That's just, it's a thing. In basketball, now you need like at least three good players to live.
I don't know about the Raptors having 3 good, but that's fine. You know,
Shade.
I'm just saying, like Kawhi is there every day.
Or a day.
And then somebody else
Fred
might show.
Van Vliet.
He's not going to have a baby every week.
Siakam.
Back and forth. He is. He's back and forth. You didn't even mention Lowry. He's supposed to be the number 2.
Kyle Lowry. He's there for other reasons. Back to baseball. Because we can go back to that.
Yeah.
Back to baseball. Do you expect any surprising teams that are not leading the scoreboard right now to make a move?
Maybe the Blue Jays.
Okay. They're doing really well right now.
Right, because they have a lot of good youth. As a matter of fact, they have a couple of guys whose fathers used to play, and now they're kind of stepping up and showing that they're pretty good. So I think they can make it happen. I think they could be one of those teams that's not at the top now, but will stay near the top and maybe make it into
and
the
make a
postseason.
move.
Yeah.
Cool. The Yankees are doing well. I'm wearing a Yankee shirt. They're doing well without their stars, without the people you were expecting to carry the team.
I mean, I think they'll still do well when Judge returns, but I mean, who cares about Giancarlo?
Yeah, Giancarlo, just stay down. Like, come on, just sit down. Just don't ruin the mix. Like, don't there's a chemistry going on, and we don't want to ruin that. We want to see a World Series with the Yankees and the Dodgers. That's what I would love to see.
It could happen with the Dodgers, especially with Cody doing so well right now. I mean, he is basically playing MVP style baseball.
Yes,
right now.
and been doing it consistently. I think he had the first 2 weeks were just normal. But then after the 2 weeks, it was like, no, you're MVP status right now.
Right.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger, right, in this moment has 19 home runs, 7 outfield assists this season. The last player to reach those totals through 52 games in a season was Babe Ruth back in 1932.
Right, yeah. I love how every time you bring up something that, Cody's done, it hasn't happened since, a long time ago,
which is insane. But that would be awesome if we saw that World Series. I don't know what I'd wear. I don't know, because Dodgers are my National League team, but Yankees are my American League team. I became a baseball fan because of Derek Jeter. I don't know what I'd wear.
You'll probably have a wig on and
and wear both and then change.
Wig. Yeah.
I'll just have maybe I'll have a Yankees jersey over a Dodgers shirt and then take it off and on and
or you can do what the Curry family did when they had
right, because I want to be Curry family.
I'm not saying
it's you don't know me at all, John.
I'm not saying that you need to be the Curry family. I'm just saying they had the 2-sided jerseys for their boys because you still have to show love for your children.
I'm not gonna go make a 2-sided jersey, Papi.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of money in the trash.
It's probably true.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna wear 2 different things.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's probably fair.
Maybe I'll make a hat or something.
All right.
Maybe that's cheaper. Kind of like the hat you made me wear. You just wrote on it with Sharpie because you care so much.
I do.
Yeah. So maybe I'll do that. Shade. Shade.
It was a clean hat, though.
No, and my hair was clean.
That hat
and it
was
wasn't
clean.
After. Anything else, John? Anything else you want to add before we wrap up double overtime here at LATV? What are your final thoughts? Just like Jerry Springer, give us your final thoughts.
My final thoughts are this here today, everybody. A, no matter what Monse says to me, I still love her. B, Bryce Harper still has no business getting paid the money that he does. And C, go on. I love Chris Long. I love you, buddy. Go on and live your life. Live your best life. Get high. Help the people in Africa. I love you, dude. And your final thoughts.
Man, I can't say anything after that. Those are some really good final thoughts. But we do want to know what you guys think Kawhi is going to do. I mean, tell us if you think the Warriors are going to win, which they are favored. We get that. We get that.
They probably will.
But let us know what you think if Kawhi is going to leave. Let us know what you think about the Blues and the Bruins, if the Blues have any chance of getting even one win out of this series.
And we also have some exciting soccer coming up here soon.
We do have some exciting soccer. We're getting ready for that. Yeah. Can't wait to talk about it.
Ooh, I hope the Hot Spurs make it interesting for Liverpool, because I think Liverpool will win. But that's okay.
But we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for tuning in to Double Overtime. We appreciate. Please rate us, like us, comment, share, the whole ordeal. You can follow the network at LATV Network. You can follow me across social media at Monse Bolanos. And you can follow this guy
on Instagram at John024Durnell and on Twitter at TwitterlessJohn with _TurlessJohn.
See you guys next time. Go Clippers.